Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and in today's video, also known as my injury guy, in today's video I'm going to shoot a video answering a question of a viewer who left a comment in my comment section. That's just a reminder to you that if you have a question you'd like me to shoot a video on, or you have a question you'd like answered, it's uh, the best thing to do is call and get a consultation. Or reach a lawyer in your jurisdiction who can answer your specific question or problem. But if you have a topic you'd like me to shoot a video on to sort of explain how it works, leave it in the comment section of my videos. I check those periodically to respond to people with questions or, feedback about the videos or the audio or any of the rest of it. Um, so this person said that I don't remember whether it was a man or a woman, but this person said, I got hurt in an accident. I was treating with a doctor, and I've been having a real problem with the doctor providing the medical records, right? What should I do? What are my rights? I've called for my medical records multiple times. Not all my visits are recorded in the records. I've let them know this, and they're now telling me that if I keep calling them for the records, that they're going to contact the police. So my first advice to people is if somebody's threatening to call the police or sue you, you don't really want that kind of hassle. There is some kind of communication disconnect there. I guess I should tell you that this isn't legal advice because I don't know exactly what is going on with this person's problem, but I'll tell you a story about a similar situation. So there was a new doctor in the area who started treating patients, and this doctor had worked at another doctor's office for a number of years and then set up their own medical practice, and they were treating patients, and this doctor treated one of my clients. And when it came time to get the medical records, I had a similar problem to the person who we're talking about here. Couldn't get the medical records. So I was able to get the hospital records, the therapy records, the specialist records, the surgery center, the anesthesia, the MRI, everything, but I couldn't get this doctor's medical records. And the records were important because, if you watch some of my other videos, you know that it's really important for us to be able to show a steady medical care. Like, you don't want big gaps in your medical treatment because it makes jurors suspicious, even though it's really shouldn't make people suspicious. People try to tough it out all the time and delay going to the doctor all the time. It doesn't mean anything sinister or fishy is going on, but in a injury case, a judge, a jury, an insurance adjuster will look at those treatment gaps and say, we're suspicious, right? So we had to have those records because otherwise there was going to be a big treatment gap, because this person, after going to the emergency room, they followed up with this doctor for several months as the only doctor the injured person went to. So without the records and bills, we got a treatment gap of like 3 or 4 months, which makes the case a challenge. So it's imperative. So literally, we were at like the 4 or 5 month mark, and the doctor's office, 4 or 5 month mark after I requested him. I went to the office. We did our standard thing. I have my team get the records for me. We have a service that calls and gets them. The service couldn't get them. I called the doctor's office a few times. I actually went to the doctor's office a couple of times, and I could never find the doctor there. And finally, the office closed. So Reader's Digest is, I was able to do some investigation and reach the doctor, and the doctor sort of admitted to me off the record that the doctor was months behind on charting, and was wrapping up the practice and has taken a job somewhere else. Well, that doesn't help my client. That doesn't help my client at all. But the doctor was eventually able to produce the medical records and the bills, and it worked out. But the reason I bring that story up is you don't know what's happening at the doctor's office. And if you yourself, as the patient, are having conflicts with the doctor and the doctor's office about what should and shouldn't be included in the medical records, or you're telling the doctors that they've made mistakes or they're not documenting things properly, medical providers have very little tolerance for that, and you're going to make an enemy. And then they're not going to want to do anything for you. I always tell people you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And that means whether you feel like being nice or not, or whether the person you're dealing with deserves to meet the nicest version of you, you have a goal. They have something you want or need. You have to be nice to them. You can be mean to them. You can fight with them. You can threaten them. I'm going to take you to court. The minute you tell a doctor or suggest to a doctor that they've made a mistake or they've made an error or you're taking them to court, they are not going to communicate with you anymore. Um, the other thing is, I do meet people. Most of my clients are lovely people, even tempered, very reasonable. They understand medical practices are very busy and that it can take some time to get medical records and bills together, or if there's an appointment that wasn't included in the medical records, they have to go back and review their system and enter it in the system or delete the billing date, right? That takes time because guess what? The doctor is the one who has to do it, and the doctor became a doctor to treat patients, not to, have to handle the details of administrative requests or, the record keeping in the office. Like that's why the doctor hires nurses and, all kinds of assistants like that to assist them with doing that sort of stuff. And so the doctor's time is at a premium. And if the doctor's choice is these patients, I have a million patients to see today, I have a million patients to see tomorrow, reviewing and correcting medical records is probably very low on his or her list. And so most of my clients are very cool and laid back, but some of my clients are very demanding. And as a person who's pretty demanding in my life as well, I can understand that if you're on a time schedule or you're very busy and you only have a small amount of time to address an issue like getting your medical records, it can be very frustrating if you're getting no communication or no progress or what sounds like BS excuses to you for why the records aren't, why they're not sending you the records. So I understand that it can be frustrating and make you upset and make you angry. But again, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So what can you do if the doctor really won't give you the medical records? Well, you can contact your attorney general's office, your state attorney general's office, and most states also have rules or laws about producing medical records. And if the doctors don't produce the records on a particular timetable, most states do have a law that allows you to sue and impose some kind of penalty if they're not producing the records to you. So that's something you can do, but I always caution people, there are certain kinds of cases people go to court on their own to handle. You may have a hard time finding a lawyer who wants to go to court to obtain your medical records for you that way, mainly because that's the kind of case that the lawyer charges an hourly rate. So you can find a lawyer willing to do it, because they're going to charge you an hourly rate. They're not going to do what I do in injury cases, which is contingency, which means we only get paid when we win. Now, it turns out that as part of my job, I order the medical records and get them and follow up on them for my client, and I review them. And if there are corrections or additional records, we find them and order those as well. Or if there's a correction that needs to be made or a missing data service, we handle all of that, and we don't charge our clients anything. It's part of the contingency fee. But when you're handling an injury case or you're obtaining medical records on your own for some other reason, no attorney is going to handle a case like that on contingency unless you hire them to represent them in the injury case itself, in which case they will more than likely get the medical records from you. Now, that isn't to say that I haven't heard of injury lawyers who send their clients out to obtain their own medical records. I have heard that story more than once, more than twice. But what I will tell you is, I don't recommend that lawyers do it. First, as a client, your lawyer should be working for you. See, if you hire an injury lawyer, they should be getting your records. And second, how does the lawyer know if they're complete? How does the lawyer know if he has a complete list of all the providers? A lot of times people will sign up with me and they'll give me access to their electronic, like the hospital will give them a login to get their records and stuff like that. And those records are usually not complete. Or they'll download them and provide me the PDF or print them out and give me the paperwork. A lot of times those records are not complete. And if there's a test in there that's missing, if there's a data service or something important in the records that's missing, it can turn a great case into a terrible case. It can take a bad case, a hard case, and turn it into a really solid case. And that's why it's important for us to get all of the medical records in an injury case, and for your attorney or someone in the know to review all that stuff. But anyway, those are sort of your options. Last thing I'm going to say is, you don't know what the doctor's office is going through. They may be short-staffed. They may not be able to find somebody. They may be switching record companies, because a lot of doctor's offices have an outside record company that comes in and does the records. They may have an outside company that copies records and sends them out to people, but they're doing a terrible job. The medical practice could have been sold, and they may be adding a doctor, or a doctor may have left suddenly. There are a million, we call it a doctor or a hospital or a medical practice, but behind all of it, it's human beings in that place, right? So if I lost my girls at my office, things would be chaotic, and I would have to start working 80 hours a week, or at least 70 hours a week to stay on top of everything, until I got a new person in who was trained, who understood how all of this stuff works. So I can sympathize with doctors' offices, but I also sympathize with people. There's a lot of doctors' offices that are just not well run. So we don't really know why the doctor's office is giving you such a long delay in providing the records to you. But hopefully this video gave you some insight into that and what you can do if you ever find yourself under those circumstances, okay? So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you and the family are well. Please stay tuned to the end of the video. I have some killer tools and information that is accessible to injured people for free, no obligation. I'm getting a ton of positive feedback from people thanking me for providing these explanations and providing this free information and the free tools for injured people to use, okay? And then obviously, if you're hurt, please call me. I'd love to represent you. Okie dokie. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you or anyone you know has been hurt in an accident and needs a lawyer or even just has questions, give me a call anytime, day or night, at 312-500-4500. You can call me anytime, day or night, and the consultation is free. That's 312-500-4500. Or if you're not ready to talk to a lawyer, I made 2 great tools that really help people out that you can use for free on my website. The links are in the description. The first one is called the Case Cash Calculator, and it tells you what your case might be worth. The other is called the Good Case Calculator, and it tells you whether you might have a good case or you might have a case with some challenges. The best part is that they're 100% free to use on my website, and it only takes you 20 seconds flat to answer 7 multiple choice questions right off the top of your head. And then you get custom information about your particular injury situation fast and for free. So check them out, links in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. I release 2 new videos every week, and this way you'll get notice of them. And if you have a question you'd like answered in a video, just leave a comment with your question in the comments section. Finally, if you enjoy my videos or if I've helped you in any way, I hope you'll consider doing me a favor. Injury law is a very competitive field, and I like having a small independent firm so I can help people who need it. People really rely on Google reviews when deciding who to hire, so I hope you'll consider leaving me a 5-star review on Google. It only takes a few seconds, but it's a favor to me that I would really appreciate. The link is in the description. You just go to that link, click 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit, and you're done. Once again, I hope you and your family are well, and if anyone you know needs an injury lawyer or has questions, please send them my way by calling 312-500-4500. Thanks again for watching. Take care.
312-500-4500.